Yo, what is going on, guys? Brisk Commerce here, and today we're going to be going over some very essential topics within TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. Today we're going to be covering essential time frames to use within the chart and also understanding the basic composition of a bullish candlestick and a bearish candlestick. Now, first things first, remember from previous videos, I kind of told you that you got the time frame right over here in your screen. If you can see my cursor to make it readily apparent, over here is your time frame. Now you can adjust the time frame for TD Ameritrade's preset time frames. It ranges from your weekly time frame, which is what I'm currently on, to your daily time frame, to a 4-hour 180-day time frame, a 1-hour 20-day time frame, a 30-minute 10-day time frame, and so on and so forth. You guys can read. Now, essentially, these time frames adjust how you're looking at your chart and during what time frame you're looking at your chart as well. Now, time frames are particularly useful not only just for investors, but it's also very, very useful for day traders. Now, day traders tend to trade between the 1-hour and the 5-minute candlestick. It gets increasingly complex as you reduce the time frame. As you reduce the time frame to your 5-minute, it becomes increasingly difficult to analyze a chart on the 5-minute time frame. You have to understand holistically that a 5-minute time frame encompasses 3 segments of a 15-minute time frame. A 15-minute time frame encompasses 2 segments of a 30-minute time frame that is, and a 30-minute time frame composes 2 segments of an hourly time frame, so on and so forth, until you minimize your way out all the way to the week. Now, the week is what we were at. Now, the weekly time frame really helps you understand the price action of a particular equity throughout the course of the year, I believe. And this year has been particularly well for the equity that we're looking at in question. At the bottom, you can see when 2021 started and the months following. Now, the number always coincides with the start of the month, which is in January, right? Then it goes from February all the way down to December. That signifies the end of 2021. If you wanted to scroll back in time, you can see the entire time frame between January 2020 to December 2020, okay? Now, if we're looking at this time frame, right, you can see the overall price activity for the particular equity in question. Now, right now, we're gonna be looking at Tesla Incorporated. Let's see what it's been doing over the course of 2 years, right? During the 2020 COVID drop, Tesla went from $181 all the way down to $80, signifying over a 50% price drop. So essentially, you can also keep in mind different factors when looking at the time frame chart. You can look at how the price has been moving over the course of 3 years. And 3 years is about as far back as you can go in this weekly time frame. Now, within this time frame, you can also adjust how often you want to see your equity. You can also see the max available from when this equity first came out on the market. As you can see, the Tesla low point at one point was $3. Now, $3 is significantly low, but also you got to imagine this was way back in 2012, right? July of 2012. All of that put aside, and now let's get right back into it to analyze and decompose what a candlestick actually is. What you see on your screen right here, if I can just bring your attention to the cursor, is a bullish candlestick. Now, you'll probably be wondering, if you're a beginner, what this rectangular shaped structure is, followed by this little thing over here. Now, this is what is known as a candlestick. A candlestick is characterized by a rectangular shaped body with a wick on either the top side, the bottom side, or both. In this case, it's both. So right here, you can see that at the bottom of this rectangular shape, the price opened at $624.03. Now, also keep in mind that you're looking at the weekly time frame. So when the week started on June 21st, right, the entire week, the price opened at that $624 value that I mentioned before. That is the bottom of this bullish candlestick. Now, there's also differences between a bullish candlestick and a bearish candlestick, and I'll get into that in a bit. But the key thing to note that the bottom is the start of the price. The top of the body, that is where within this time frame the price closed. So as you can see in the weekly time frame, Tesla closed at around $679.97, give or take. And also see the price information over here if you just hover over it. On the left hand side, right underneath pointer, you can see that the open was $624.48, excuse me, and the close was at $679.82. Now, this candlestick wick over here gives you the price action of the particular equity in that time frame, right? So if you're looking at the bottom of this wick, as you can see, the low price was $608.88, as denoted by right here, right? $608.88 was the low for the weekly time frame between June 21st and June 28th. So the lowest it went within that time frame was $608.88. The highest it went within that time frame was $697.62. So that's essentially the entire composition of a bullish candlestick. As you can see, the bottom is the open, the top of the bullish candlestick is the close, the top of the wick is the highest price, and the bottom of the wick is the lowest price within that time frame. That's how you read a bullish candlestick. Now, a bearish candlestick is quite the opposite. Let's look at an example over here where there is no top of the wick. The top of a bearish candlestick is where the price opened. The bottom of the bearish candlestick body is where the price closed. The bottom, the very bottom of the wick, is the lowest that the price went within that time frame. As you can see, for this candlestick in this section over here, the open for this candlestick was $664.90. The high was $665.05. Now, you're not able to see the top of this wick because the open and the high price was relatively the same. So there will be no emergence of a candle on the top because the price difference is negligible. Now, the close was $589.74. The low being $559.65. So essentially, you can see the wick because the difference between the low and the close is actually something that you can visualize in the chart pattern. Now, as you can imagine, these candlesticks are going to be the same in every single time frame. It's just that you're going to get closer and closer to real time. So in the hourly time frame, if you look at it, you'll see minimal price action, but relatively informative as well. In the hourly time frame today, as you can see for this candlestick right here, the open of this hourly candlestick, let's keep in mind that we're in the hourly time frame now, for the hour of 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock noon, this candlestick opened at $686.12. The lowest that it went within that hour was $686. The highest that it went within that time period was $695, which is denoted by the top of the candlestick. This bearish candlestick, however, is denoted by the fact that it opened at $693 and it closed at $689. The wicks are pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure you guys got it by this point. Now, as you zoom more and more into the time frames, there will be less and less price action between each individual candlestick. As you can see, this bearish candlestick opened at $674. It closed at $669-ish, and the highest price within that time frame was $676.88. Low was $667.61. You guys can read and absolutely decompose how things are going within the hourly basis. Now, people use this information to make more well-informed trade. Keep in mind that understanding the price action of a particular equity doesn't necessarily mean that you can predict which way it's going to go. All it's going to help you do is make a more informed trade. Now, there's a whole nother aspect, right? A whole new aspect, should I say, about volume. And volume you can see at the bottom of your screen over here. And I'll get into this in a different video. And I'll show you guys how to use volume in coordination with price action. Credit to Bueller Buys for developing and completely finishing this strategy. I think it's absolutely wonderful. If you guys learn from me, it's pretty much like you guys are learning from him. And by the way, go subscribe to him. What are you guys waiting for? Bueller Buys on YouTube. Great man, great channel, great insight. So now looking at this within the 5-minute time frame is what a lot of traders do on a daily basis, but 15 minutes is generally recommended for people that are new to day trading per se. I usually look at the weekly chart in order for me to make a more well-informed decision about a particular equity when it comes to brisk commerce. Now, I'll also be going over the essential tools to be using in a future video as well. As you can see, the stock split 5-to-1. I'll go over that ratio and what it means. These bottom things over here indicates the earnings. I'll go over what the estimated versus actual earnings are, and you'll learn a whole lot more in future videos to come. My name is Brisk Commerce. This has been a brisk review of all of the things relative to time frames and understanding the composition of a candlestick. Brisk out.